Eileen's Song Story Hour. I'd like to read to you Chapter 2 of A Frog in My Backyard. "Mary," said Miss Sherrill in a reassuring manner, noting the child's observant mannerisms, "I would like to take the time to thank you for bringing a mystery to Map House." "I'm sure Amber C. and Stephanie, the dynamic trio," said Miss Sherrill, laughing now, "were more than a bit persuasive." Looking from Miss Sherrill to the table where the items that she had helped discover were displayed, Mary looked at Miss Sherrill with a soft smile. "Yes, ma'am, they were. I hope they were not too much. They can be quite a handful." "Oh, no, ma'am. Actually, we were having quite a bit of fun trying to figure out how the badger put them in there, or if the badger had put them there. We think there's more there." "I have something for you," said Miss Sherrill. "I hope it brings as much joy to you as having a new mystery to solve brings to Map House." Miss Sherrill turned towards the side cabinet where she kept the specially designed notebooks for new visitors to Map House. They were well worth a summer of creative artists taking over the castle. They had fussed and explored for 3 months, never a dull moment. All in all, it had been an exciting, adventurous summer. When several months later the first notebook had arrived for her approval, Miss Sherrill called them immediately with her approval. They were nothing less than spectacular. They were 17 inches in diameter, round in design, a miniature replica of the castle itself, the stones raised up just a bit, giving them a realistic look and feel. When opened, the castle appeared, with a complete layout of the interior, the pens positioned in their own moat, the joy of the recipient untold, as the pens were the key to the study hall. Used properly, you could use them throughout the castle. They came with an instruction booklet 30 chapters long. Under the moat were the 2 small batteries. The tiny care kit for the pen was the envy of all. It came complete with instructions of taking it apart and putting it back together again. That had to be done to clean the tiny receivers and camera lenses. Mary stood looking down at the beautiful notebook in front of her. Map House notebooks were famous. This was not the one for sale at Study Hall, the only place you could buy one. This was the collector's edition. Mary sat down slowly, making sure she had a grip on the notebook, afraid she might drop it before she had the chance to open it for the first time. Miss Sherrill knew she was right to give her one of the last of the fancy collector's editions. There were not many in existence. Looking quietly at Mary from the door, the child had eyes only for the notebook. Carefully she looked at the package, devouring every word. A very intelligent young lady at that, thought Miss Sherrill. "Mary," she said softly. Mary looked up. Little tears were forming. She was so overwhelmed by the gift. "Yes, ma'am?" "I'm going to make some phone calls. I will be just in my office. Will you be all right here until I finish? If you turn the package a little, you will see just how to open the box." Winking, she turned towards her office. Miss Sherrill always called the parents and those she thought would enjoy a week adventure. Often college students, former MAP students, would act as chaperones for the weekend adventures. She called several of those before deciding excuse me. She called several of those before deciding how many children to invite, thinking this would be a good adventure for those who had studied very hard last summer, hoping to be a part of the usual number of 21 per weekend, 7 chaperones and 14 students. Finding 7 qualified chaperones, Miss Sherrill called the parents of the others on her list. Leaning back in her chair, she noticed the envelope Sebastian handed her. Taking her letter opener, she opened the envelope. There was a picture of Mary. Behind that were missing child alerts and several pleas for help. Oh my! Looking closely at the report, Mary's parents had been killed in a plane crash?